Now we're on to section 1.2, segments and congruence. I'm going to ask you guys to do numbers 1 through 27 odd. And I'm assuming you're not printing these. In any case, I would expect you to work on a separate sheet of paper and put your name, the date, and the assignment. In this case, it's section 1.2. And you're going to do odd, so I'll do a couple of the evens. Measure to the nearest centimeter. You guys may or may not have a ruler. So I've got this nice Smokey the Bear one here. So I'm going to help you out. There's AB. It's about how many centimeters. I'm going to do CD. So to the nearest centimeter, I would say that's 1. Now the interesting thing is if I'm talking about segment CD, that is the figure. But if I am indicating its length, I don't put the symbol over it because now I'm talking about an equal sign, and I would say 1 centimeter. Oh, nearest tenth. Oh, I don't have tenths on this. There you go. I could estimate. What do you think that is? 1.5, we'll say. I'm going to go to the nearest half of a centimeter. And then here's EF for you guys. I don't know, what do you think that looks like? By the way, graph paper, pencil, nice eraser, and calculator are the tools that you should be using and have with you at all times. Just like when you're skiing, you've got your skis and your boots and your helmet. Those, I think, are the least you'd have to have. All right, so measure length to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. Find the indicated length. Well, this is what we might call the segment addition postulate. Postulates are does in geometry. We just accept them to be true. In this case, if I want to find, and again, notice there's not the symbol above it because I'm talking about the measure. So for number 4, GJ is equal to 16. It's just the sum of those two. Same thing here. NQ would just be the sum of these two. It's obvious. One segment plus another segment is the whole segment. A piece plus a piece is a whole. That's what I like to say is the segment addition postulate. So you can do those pretty easily. Oh, plot the points given in a coordinate plane, then determine whether the line segments are congruent. So right now these are relatively simple. Later things will get a little more complicated. So if I'm looking at number 10, here's my coordinate plane. I'm looking at A, 2, 2. That's point A. B is 2, -1. And C is 0, -2. And D is 3, -2. And the question they're asking, and again, now they're just referring to the figures, so they want to know if AB is congruent to CD. And because these are horizontal and vertical, it's pretty easy to see the difference. Notice these have the same x coordinate, so the difference is their y coordinates. So from 2 to -1 is 3. AB equals 3, and this is a horizontal line, so or segment. So the y coordinates are the same, -2 and -2. The x coordinates are what's different. So from, oh, did I plug that one at -3 and -2? Whoops. Either way, 3. Teachers make mistakes too. CD equals 3. And notice DC and CD are the same. So that one's relatively straightforward. Use the number line to find the indicated distances. So again, basically they have a fancy way of telling you, for example, JK. So if I did 12, JK. We measured, remember absolute value is distance. So if, it's easy if I think about from 1 to 7, 7 minus 1 is 6. What about -3 to -8? And you can do it in either order. It's finding the difference. -8 minus negative 3, and the absolute value of that would be negative 8 plus 3, and the absolute value of that is 5. Now obviously it's pretty easy just to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically you're finding the absolute value. Distance between 2 points. However you want to do it is fine with me. In the diagram, P, Q, R, and S are collinear. We're sort of taught never to assume, so they're telling us PS equals 46, PR is 18, and they're telling you PQ is equal to QR. So one of the things I might do here is, if I had my picture, PQ, R, S, and they tell me that PS is 46, PR is 18, and PQ is equal to QR. I can indicate that with these little marks that indicate congruent segments. And find any of the others. Well, I mean, obviously if this is 18, we know each of these is 9. And if this is 46 and that's 18, 46 minus 18 is 28. And you can go from there. But labeling a diagram, understanding these little congruent marks is good. Find the indicated length. If I'm looking for, VW, that's 23, I'll do 24. 2x plus 3 plus 3x minus 1 equals 27. If I was using the segment addition postulate, I would say that xy plus yz equals xz. And again, since I'm talking about their measures, I don't put the symbols on top. And this is 2x plus 3 plus 3x minus 1 equals 27. 5x plus 2 equals 27. 5x equals 25. Nice numbers. X equals 5. Am I done? No, because the question was find yz. So yz equals 3x minus 1. So yz equals 3 times 5 minus 1. Yz equals 14. Now you're done. And the last few, 25, 26, 27. Point B is between A and C on segment AC. Use the given information. So again, I would just encourage you to draw a diagram. And try not to be too specific. Like, it doesn't say anything about B being the midpoint, so all I know is that B is between. So draw a diagram, label it. AB is 2x minus 5. BC is 6x, and I know that AC is 27. And I don't need you to, I mean, you could write out the segment addition postulate, but basically, again, we know that 2x minus 5 plus 6x equals 27. This is a pretty good statement of the problem. And don't forget, they're asking you to, once you find x, find A, B, and BC.